Hi, good morning, student. Today we are going to discuss topic number 15. The title is drugs. Okay, in this topic, we have to discuss about the drugs and the medicines and what is the difference in between these drugs and medicine and how many types of drugs are there and what are their effects. Okay, we also discuss it. So now come to the first slide. What is drug? See, a drug is any substance taken into the body that modifies or affects the chemical reactions in the body. Some drugs are medicinal drugs that are used to treat the symptoms or causes of disease, for example, antibiotics. Okay. And antibiotics, are chemical substance made by certain fungi or bacteria that affects the working of bacterial cell, either by disrupting their structures or function or by preventing them from reproducing. Antibiotics are effective against bacteria but not against virus. The question arises why antibiotics, are used against the bacteria or fungus but not virus, because you know that the structure of virus is very simple. It has a protein code that is capsid and RNA or DNA. But bacteria, has bacterium has like cell wall, cell membrane. Okay, capsulated layer is there. So some antibiotics rupture the cell wall, some antibiotic rupture the cell membrane, some antibiotic rupture the capsule outer layer. So when once the antibiotic rupture their cell wall or capsule or the cell membrane, then the bacteria expire. So here that why the bacteria can be killed by the antibiotic but virus not killed. So the main reason is the structure, because the virus structure is very simple. Why do antibiotic affects virus? See, viruses cannot be treated with antibiotics. This is because antibiotics work by disrupting cell functions such as respirations or breaking down the structure of the cell in some ways. However, viruses do not carry out any cell functions and do not have cell wall, cell membranes, or any cell organelles, as viruses infect and utilize the machinery of animal cells to produce, which are not affected by antibiotics. Therefore, the action of antibiotics do not affect them. Now come to the next one. See here, antibiotic resistance. Yes, sometime when the doctor prescribe the antibiotic and we do not complete the course antibiotics, so the antibiotic get resistance. Means the viruses or sorry, bacteria are not killed by the antibiotics. Why? Because the bacteria has some specific changes in the genetic structure or mutation take place, due to which these bacteria resist the antibiotic. Since the first antibiotic was discovered in 1928, many more have been discovered and developed, and antibiotics were and are widely overused. Commonly prescribed antibiotics are becoming less effective due to the number of reasons. See, what are these reasons? Overuse and being prescribed when not really necessary. Patients failing to complete the fully prescribed course by a doctor, or the large scale use of antibiotic in farming to prevent disease when livestock are kept in close quarter, even when animals are not actually sick. This has led to the effectiveness of the antibiotics being reduced and the incidence of antibiotic resistance increasing. These bacteria are commonly known as the superbugs, and the most common is MRSA. Ways individuals can help prevent the incidence of antibiotic resistance. Increasing the includes only taking antibiotics when absolutely essential, When prescribe a course of antibiotic, ensure that the entire course is completed, even if you feel better often a few days. Means like, even like, after taking antibiotic you feel better, but like, your course is still left, so you have to complete the course. Because if you are not going to complete the antibiotic course, so the bacteria which, which are just inactive after taking some dose, so they are going to be again become active, and the same antibiotic will not work against it, so the doctor, needs to change the antibiotic. Now here you can see here, number one, you see the population of bacteria in the gut and some antibiotic resistance. See, we are just studying that how, like, the antibiotic is get resistance. Number two, you see when exposed to an antibiotic bacteria causing illness as well as healthy gut bacteria are killed. Number three, you see with the reduced competitions for nutrients, antibiotics resistance bacteria multiply, forming a larger population that is difficult to control. So these are, these are the some specific, ways by which, like, the one of the antibiotic, get resistance. Now see here, effects of alcohol. This is the another type of drugs. There are, some short-term effect and some long-term effect. Now see, the first we will talk about the short-term effect. Vomiting means if you take the alcohol, excessive quantity, so it may cause, like, the vomiting. Alcohol is a toxic to the body, and this is the quickest way to get rid of it. Impaired judgment and a potentially violent behavior. The user has reduced self-control. These are the, the short-term effect. Impaired balance and muscles control, sleeplessness, and when consumed in large enough quantities, unconsciousness. Means if you take, like, in a high quantity, then it may cause, like, the unconsciousness. Now what are the long-term effect? Long term means, like, if you're taking alcohol for a long time, so what does it affects? See, it damages the brain, causing memory loss and confusion. Heavy alcohol abuse over a long period of time damage the liver, and this is called as a cirrhosis. Means the liver cells are going to be damaged, okay, and sometime it may cause, like, to the cancer. Now, another drug, is heroin. Heroin is a powerful depressant drug. It reduces pain and slows down breathing. It is highly addictive. Means if you take one, okay, so you need to take more time, and every time you increase the quantity. So that you see here, and users quickly develop a tolerance for it, meaning they need larger and larger amount in order to feel the same effect. This increases the risk of accidentally overdosing, which can cause death. Means, this heroin is the addictive in nature. So once you take, like, little, then every time you increase the dose, okay, and you take it frequently, then it may cause, like, the death of a person just because of the overdose. Another, thing is that this means that they need more money to pay for the increased amounts of the drugs they are taking, as the drugs makes them less able to cope with everyday life and maintain the job. They may turn to crime in order to get the money they need. Yes, because, these drugs, of course, like, is not available freely. So a person has to, spend some money. So if the person do not get, like, this drug, so even if he has to do some crimes to get the money, he will commit a crime. As it is so addictive, if a user stop taking heroin, they suffer from the significant withdrawal symptoms. Yes, means if the person is addictive, he couldn't get it, couldn't, like, take this drug. So different symptoms, can be seen in this person. For example, like, nausea, muscle cramps, sweating, anxiety, and difficulty sleeping. Heroin can be taken into the body in different ways. One of the most common is injecting with a syringe. Means different ways are there how, like, the person take it. So there is one of the way, is taking this drug by injection. As syringe needles cost money, heroin addicts may share needles, which increase the risk of the transmission of blood-borne infection. Okay, for example, like, hepatitis, HIV, it can be transferred because, like, the unsterilized syringe or used syringe is to be used for different peoples. So if, like, even one person is having the blood infection, then it is going to be transferred to others person. Now smoking, is also the type of drugs. Okay, so what are the different components? Okay, and what is their, like, effects? So smoking is also addictive due to the chemical called nicotine, which is inhaled with the cigarette smoke and causes the release of dopamine. This led to the long-term smoking habits, which have been linked to many diseases. For example, like you see here, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a group of disease that decrease the efficiency of gas exchange in the lungs by damaging the alveoli, hence decreasing the surface area of diffusion and causing inflammation in the airways. So here, this is the respiratory disease, of course, in which the alveoli are damaged. You know what are alveoli? Alveoli are the small bags of air that are found in the lungs. So if the alveoli destroyed, so it means there is no capacity of oxygen in the lungs. So the person is going to be you know die because of the lack of oxygen. Now, another disease, that is the lungs cancer, one of the more serious form of cancer, for which the smoking accounts for uh, over 85% of cases. This is because cigarette smoke contains a variety of toxic chemicals. Many of them are carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means those chemicals which causes cancer. Now, another disorder that can be seen in the smokers is coronary heart disease, because you see here, uh, the smoking puts a strain on the heart due to the nicotine and carbon monoxide breathed in. Uh, Carbon monoxide is dangerous as it displaces the oxygen bound to the hemoglobin and binds to it instead. This means that there is less oxygen presence in the blood, so the heart must work harder to supply it to the tissues. So you know that if the heart is going to work harder or perform extra work, so of course it's going to be stress on the heart, and it may cause, like, the heart problem. Now, performance enhancing drugs in sports. Yes, sometime, the sportsmen, take the drugs before the competition. Although, like, these drugs, are fully banned. Okay, so see here, how hormones produced in the body help to control the way it develops and respond to the changes. Some people take additional hormones to increase these effects. This is the most commonly done to improve sporting performance. For example, the testosterone, naturally, it is released, or it is produced in the testes, that affects the development of the male secondary sexual characteristics. Means it formed, like, the muscles and make your muscle strong. Okay, so this testosterone, is artificially made, and it is injected before the competition in the sportsman. So as you know, this is a drug, so it is prohibited. It is one of the group of hormones known as steroids, which stimulates the anabolic reactions to occurs in the body, meaning the synthesis of large molecules from the small ones. So it is known as anabolic steroids. Anabolic steroids, are those steroids which motivate the anabolic reactions. Anabolic reactions are those reactions in which some small compounds or molecules make the large molecules. One of the effects of the testosterone is to cause more proteins to be made in muscles so that the muscles become larger and stronger. Taking anabolic steroids therefore increases the muscle mass, help athletes train harder and for longer period of time, and can increase the aggregations which can give an edge when competing. The use of anabolic steroids in sports is banned as it gives as unfair advantage and also has serious side effects, including, yes, those people who take like these steroids, okay, maybe sometime they win the contest, but actually these type of drugs have serious side effects. Now, what are these side effects? See, increase the risk of heart disease, increase the risk of liver damage, increase the risk of kidney damage, affects the menstrual cycle in women, decrease the ability of the immune system to destroy pathogen. Means like for a short period of time, if a person take this drug and he wins the contest, but the side effects are the long time, and like the person is going to lose the life even. So these are the different drugs and their effects. If you have any questions, you may ask me. Okay, you can see like that my WhatsApp number, my email address, my YouTube channel. Okay, my TikTok is there. So if you have any confusion, you can ask me. Okay, hope you are not going to hesitate to ask me and contact me. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye.